Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It is the 6th of August, 2020. And we're still in lockdown. I thought it was 15 days to slow the spread. I think we've been had. Anyway, some news headlines from today, the 6th of April, 2020. So, we've got creepy, sleepy, gropey, pedophile Uncle Joe here. Lashes out against a black reporter, asks if he's a junkie, because he was asked about a cognitive test. I've seen this personally. Joe is sundowning. He needs to be removed from the public eye. He's really, his wife is lying for him. Everyone is lying for him, and that is unacceptable. He needs to be pulled off to the side and put in a home. It's really sad. And we've got this from yesterday. This is from this morning at 1:57. Senator Josh Hawley rips into Sally Yates over FISA abuses during hearing. And of course, you know, Yates is a typical Obamaite who can't take responsibility for anything she did. So she pushed it all onto Comey. We saw this coming. Comey's going to go down for 90% of it. Rosenstein's going to go down. And we'll go from there. Hopefully, it goes all the way up to the top. But, you know, not holding my breath anymore. These people need to be made examples of, so it never happens again. And then, apparently, the State Department acting IG abruptly resigns months after previous Deep State IG Steve Linick was fired. Well, seeing this picture of this guy, I gotta tell you, I've seen eyes like that before. They're definitely hiding something. And then this is confirmed Twitter official who announced Trump campaign account suspension. There's former Kamala Harris press secretary Nick Basilio. Go figure. An Italian guy. Going to turn on his own people. What a piece of garbage he is. Kamala Harris is garbage. I mean, Indian Jamaican. Her father openly admitted that he owned and traded slaves in Jamaica. And yet, she obviously thinks black people are dumb. I know they're not. Kamala, you're not black. You're a slave trading Jamaican. Which should say a bunch about you. And then, and here's one for you. This is out of your lefty California. This is from last night at 8:35 p.m. L.A. Mayor Garcetti, go figure, authorizes city to shut off power and water to homes that throw large parties. Are you awake yet, ladies and gentlemen? Or are you still have your head so far up your asses that it's, you have to open your eyes. You have to open your mouth to show us your eyes. California. I don't even want to read that one. And then, so apparently, Twitter suspends Trump campaign account for saying children almost immune from COVID-19. I'm quoting Donald Trump, so you better put this fucking video up, YouTube, because we've got nothing but time, and we know where your headquarters is. We'll gladly surround your headquarters, and we'll show you what real people are like. But they're right. More kids die from drowning in car accidents than they do from COVID. And then this is another one regarding the same Twitter. Bill de Blasio launches updated New York City quarantine rules, checkpoints, and with fines up to $10,000. So they can't keep people safe on the streets. They can't keep criminals in jail. They've lost hundreds of billions in revenue. The 2-day shutdown after 9/11 cost the city $2 billion. We're into 160 days, ladies and gentlemen. 160 days. And then here's another one. This is some more privileged folks here. Angry WNBA players. By the way, make me a fucking sandwich. Make me a fucking sandwich. Vote Warnock. Vote Warnock shirts supporting GOP Senator Loeffler's liberal opponent after she outs BLM Marxist roots. Go figure. Because these folks are so dumb. You know, I mean, these folks that are in the public eye that are from these minority communities, they're so brainwashed. They're so dumb. They get hundreds of thousands of dollars for throwing a ball into a hoop. I've seen baboons throw the ball in the hoop. They don't get paid. What you do is nothing. We don't care about your entertainment. We hope your entire WNBA, NBA, NFL, MLB, all of it can just disappear. You have embarrassed yourselves. You have embarrassed your country. You're an insult to your country. And you know what? If you don't want to stand for the flag, you don't want to stand for the anthem, get on a plane. I'll pay for the ticket. Get the fuck out of here. That's the way I feel about these I'm sorry to say it, these overpaid, underworked, filthy cunts who think they're better than me and they're not. I want to see you turn a fucking wrench, darling. And then this here, it's Jail Fauci. New report compares Turkey COVID testing treatment with HCQ versus USA without. And results are crystal clear. So, yeah, Fauci knew back in 2007 and 8 that a novel virus can be defeated by HCQ, and he's a deep state member. You know, he's being paid off by Gates and the Clinton Foundation. The reason I believe Trump picked him is to expose him for the fraud that he is, and I hope it comes out real soon. And then Governor Cuomo, this douchebag Wap Dago from New York, him and his retard brother. By the way, there was a news story yesterday that barely got picked up that it turns out Jake Tapper, Chris Cuomo, and for some reason Brian Stelter were on Epstein's flight logs and his island. I wonder why. And then this Mameluke over here, Cuomo, said he'll buy you a drink if you come. It begs wealthy New Yorkers to come back to save the city. Don't come back. What are you kidding me? Look what those morons did to your city. Your city was the epicenter of wealth and prosperity in this country. But we needed to have problems, so we put in a Marxist piece of shit with a black wife because, it was diversity over here. And now she stole what, like $4 billion or something? $400 million she was given to do some project that, yeah, I know what that project was. Probably helping out Ghislaine Maxwell hide out for a while and pay off some more blackmail money, because we all know that most people in politics in New York, New Jersey, Connecticut, Rhode Island, Pennsylvania, they're all pedophiles. I think they know their days are numbered, and I really hope that when they get perp walked, we can just all spit on them. Here's another one about Facebook censoring President Trump takes down interview over comments on children and coronavirus because Facebook is involved. We all know Mark Zuckerberg from 2014, I believe, posted from the island. Not to mention Zucker's wife from CNN is best friends with Ghislaine Maxwell. So let's stop playing the game here, folks. Open your fucking eyes. These people are all involved. That's why they all hate the man. That's why they all hate this country, because we're going against what is their lifeblood and their drug, adrenochrome and child sex trafficking. It's disgusting. And then an update to the Flynn case. D.C. Court of Appeals requests parties address whether Judge Sullivan should disqualify himself. Really? You're just starting to discuss that now, you dumb shits? He was appointed by the man who outed him. Of course you should dismiss him. Remove him from that court. Jail him. End of story. Over. No other questions. And then apparently, the peaceful protesters, bullshit. Portland rioters attack driver, attempt to barricade his truck with a motorcycle. So fed up driver drags the motorcycle and pulls gun. Dragged it for 12 blocks. Hope you enjoy what's left of your motorcycle, you dumb shit. And I heard that Jake Paul, by the way, don't ever trust anybody with two first names. Jake Paul was raided by the FBI for joining in riots. Yeah, we didn't see that coming. Privileged little white bastard. We all know he's gay, too. That's what's sad. And he doesn't want to admit it. And then, Michelle Obama, Mike Obama, I should say, Big Mike here, says that he's suffering from a low-grade depression, blames President Trump. No, sir, you have gender identity disorder or gender dysphoria, and that's why you're depressed, and you need to stop pretending you're a chick, because you're not. You are a beastly-looking man, and I can prove it. Just give me 5 minutes alone with you, and I bet you got a hog 12 inches long. You're a disgrace. And then days before Tuesday's massive explosion in Beirut, Democrats added funding to Lebanese military back into House bill for some reason. Yeah, they were hoping we were going to go to war, and we saw through that. So I think anybody who has signed that bill and added it into there needs to be investigated even a little harder. And then treason. President Trump lashes out on Obama, Biden as Sally Yates testifies on Carter Page FISA warrants. This group here, this is what happens. This is the result of no oversight, folks. This is what happens when you allow the machine to just run unchecked. Oversight, man. It would have been much easier had you stopped worrying about lining your pockets, stopped worrying about how much pussy you could get, stopped worrying about me, and you just actually kept your oversight and kept involved with your cities and your states and your local governments, and you wouldn't have this problem. But no one wants to talk about that because hindsight's always 20/20. And then I guess here we go. Sally Yates testifies. Comey went rogue. Yeah, you know, you can't take responsibility for anything, you dirty fucking bitch. She's garbage. And then Portland Theater, we spoke yesterday about this, cancels showing of Kindergarten Cop because of radical leftists complained that it glorifies police. No, it was an undercover thing, but, you know, that's okay. Rand Paul introduces legislation to fund U.S. families using current federal education funding. I think that's a great idea. I mean, you're not opening the schools, so whatever. And then the rest of these stories are from yesterday. That's just from the pundit today. I do want a good laugh, so I'm going to go over to the New York Times, and let's have a good laugh on what they're not covering. Let's see what we got. The only thing good in there is the crosswords, anyway. And then this is New York Times. Of course, they offer it in Spanish, too, which is cool. It's from August 6, 2020. Let's see what we got. How did it happen? America's unique failure to control coronavirus. So they're spreading more lies. And of course, one of the pictures they show is godly Texas, because they've got to go against everything God. You know how we failed? You know how we didn't control the virus? We had a doctor in charge that said a certain drug doesn't work when it does. So these people are stupid. And then in stimulus talks, Mitch McConnell is outside the room and in the bind. No, he's we offered so many things. The reason nasty Pelositor or Pelosi galore and that bitch and that little Chuck Schumer, crying Chuck, and all these other folks don't want to do anything is because we the people are not bailing out failed states and cities. I'm sorry. You chose your path. We're not bailing you out. You know, there's... I know dope heads who want sympathy. When people told them, you shouldn't do that stuff, you're going to get hooked, and they do it anyway. And they got hooked. And now they want to blame everything else. No, you blame your fucking self. Minneapolis, your mayor that has a full leg sleeve of Hillary Clinton? What the fuck is wrong with you? Mayor Fry? First of all, you're not elected. I'm not voting for anybody with the last name Fry. Okay? Your state has an attorney general who's been accused of rape and beating like 6 women, but yet he's going to tell us what's moral and what our values should be. Fuck out of here. You out of your mind? Apparently you're out of your mind, and you've got to... And the highest... Why are we going to give money to a state that has the highest recruitment for terrorists inside the United States? But I think Antifa's taking that note. And then, as the smoke clears in Beirut, shock turns to anger. Yeah. I'm pretty impressed that was a huge explosion. I mean, what is it, 100 people dead now and 20,000 injured or something? Vowed to hold those responsible to account. Here's the thing, though. It was 5,000. At least 5,000 hurt, at least 5,000 left hundreds of thousands homeless. Well, here's the problem. You were ordered by Iran to, what was it? Stockpile their weapons. You're claiming it came from a Russian ship? I highly doubt it. The Russians aren't going to use ammonium nitrate. That is a telltale Islamic terrorist regime tactic. They love the fertilizer because that's what their Quran is, fertilizer. And then of course they're pushing the prick trial. I would rather not deal with that. 19th century. Let's see. It says, interested in a prick trial, you may be surprised by the risks. If you wondered why child care programs are open when schools are not, 19th century, at its time to expand your definition of sourdough. I don't know what that means. It's cryptic. They're very cryptic. And then this Hiroshima's 75th anniversary, preserving survivors, message of peace. Well, you know, that's the worst part about dating a Japanese girl is when you break up with them, you gotta drop the bomb twice. Ooh, 75 years too soon? I don't know. But, I mean, this is where we're at, ladies and gentlemen. This is the nonsense we're getting from the news, and I gotta tell you, man, I'm getting disappointed in a lot of news sources because no one's giving us the facts anymore. No one's giving us the facts anymore. They're just giving us spin and nonsense. And people are so stupid. They really are. I mean, you look around and hear some of these people have the conversations these people are having. If you ever just, sit there and listen, you realize that they're brain dead. I mean, I'm in the Northeast and these people are so stupid up here, it's not even funny. I mean, you got people saying, 2 and 2 equals 5. No, it doesn't. Only if you change the rules does it equal 5. And we're not allowing that. Mathematics is colonialism? No, mathematics started in Greece, dumbass, which is Mediterranean, which might as well be Middle Eastern. Have you ever seen a Greek man after he's been in the sun for 3 days? He might as well be an Arab. So you want to talk about brown people. You know why Africa's in the shape it's in? Because you folks have warlords instead of actual democracy. Instead of actually having a voting public, you have slaves. What is it? Candace Owens said 350,000 or 750,000 slaves in Africa owned by other black people. Oh, but America's racist. Oh, you are retarded. And I won't even entertain a conversation with you. I mean, look at Lori Lightfoot. This Beetlejuice, Don King looking freak dyke is out there letting people get slaughtered in her city, and she doesn't care. Because as long as that George Soros money comes in, same thing with this Kim Gardner, another Whitey hater who couldn't have gotten anywhere without Whitey, but now that she's where she's at, she hates Whitey. That's called a snake. And you take the heads off of snakes and hope no more grow back. These people are the devil. And I'm talking everybody that's connected to George Soros. So you're talking Pelosi galore. You're talking all these nasty hoes. That's what they are. They're nasty hoes. I'm sorry. There's nothing else I could say about it. And people are afraid to call and speak to the and leave messages for their congressmen and women for fear of retaliation. Retaliate against me. I want you to. I want it to be physical. I would love to meet Phil Murphy face to face. I really would. The governor of New Jersey, the man who is accused, credibly accused, of 450 misconduct, inappropriate conduct with children in Germany while he was the ambassador. That's all Soros operated. He doesn't work for you. Everybody's like, how could he get away with this? How can he get away with this? It's real simple. He don't work for you. Soros is going to protect him until we get Soros out of the picture. Once, I'll tell you what, if you took down George Soros and Alexander Soros today, his minions would run like cockroaches when you turn on the light. And when they do that, you capture them. And you hold them accountable for their crimes against humanity. That's it. These people have slaughtered hundreds of millions of people. God only knows how many children they have trafficked. God only knows how many women and young boys have been slaughtered. You know, and people just don't want to. People don't want to talk about it because, it's not a good conversation to have. That's nonsense. At what point do you say enough is enough? Again, the reason they all hate Trump, is because he's going after their lifeblood. He's going after their money. And their money is child trafficking. That's what it is. And he's going after it. He's mentioned it hundreds of times in hundreds of interviews, how we need to save the children, how the children are what the children are super important, the kids are important, and yet these morons, they don't think they don't think they're going to get caught. That's the problem. They think they're above the law. I mean, you're going to tell me you would trust your kid with de Blasio? Would you trust your kid with Cuomo? Would you trust your kid with Murphy? Or Tom Wolf in Pennsylvania? By the way, Tom Wolf, he hired a tranny doctor to be the health advisor for his state. This dude couldn't figure out he was a dude. And yet, where are we? Took his mother out of the nursing home while he loaded thousands of other people into the nursing home with COVID, and there's the deaths. 1 in 5 deaths because of the coronavirus happened in New York. When are we going to hold these people accountable? When are we going to actually say, we're done with your nonsense. You overtly did this on purpose. It's time to make a change. It's time to get your oversight back, ladies and gentlemen, because if you don't, odds are Trump's going to win the election. It's going to be contested, of course. There's been a war game that Democrats and John Podesta, mind you, John Podesta and his brother were seen with that little 5-year-old girl that went missing from England back in 2013. They never found her. They were running a war game on if Trump wins, that they're just going to force the West Coast to secede. Okay. You want to do that, that's fine. We're not going to argue. I feel bad for the good people of Washington State, Oregon, California. I really feel bad for them because they don't have a fighting chance. They don't have a fighting chance. And they let this happen. This is what happens when you legalize drugs. People get high and they forget. Okay? I mean, de Blasio is a burnout. Murphy's a drunk. How do you think these people stay alive? These people are disgusting. They're disgraceful. Murphy, even cops I've spoken to say that guy's a kid toucher. Why can't you do something about it then? Why can't you do something about it? Oh, because you're allowing it to be normalized. Here's a message to you pedophiles. All you folks out there that think groping at kids and touching kids is okay. Do it in front of someone like me. Do it in front of someone like a couple of friends of mine. And watch how fast you're torn apart like a pack of wolves tearing into a carcass. We're not playing your game. I mean, you're trying to normalize it in New York. Why? So the folks that are going to get in trouble real soon don't get in as much trouble? Fuck out of here. That's the news from this morning. Glad it was really good news. It's always bad news. And that Yoko Hirono bitch from Hawaii, that right there is part of the problem in this country. Her and that Jayapal or whatever the hell that smush-faced freak is. I think that's because the doctor tried pushing her back in, realized he was probably delivering a child from an asshole instead of a womb. Anyway, I'm sure these videos are getting censored, but whatever. You can subscribe to the channel if you want. It's just going to be commentary like this anyway. I don't really care about your feelings. If you find me offensive, go fuck yourself. This is the news. This is where we are. And people like me, we don't give a fuck about your feelings anymore. We care about facts. And facts are important. Because facts are facts. And feelings are for pussies. Thank you, folks, and have a great day. Enjoy your Thursday.